Mm, mm, right. Mm, mm, right. Right. Though that, but I have to go back to what spirit addressed because I only speak the spirit language in a psychic reading. The spirit language states that there's the idea, the fact that as you, let's say you're doing investigation to bring you into the fold, uh, you'll find no woman. You'll find that there aren't any women around him. He's not seeking other women. Rather, instead of creating access to all the women in the world in any direction, 360 degrees, he could turn right all four corners of the earth. He's choosing one unique woman out of the the millions, billions that he could choose, right? So he's approaching. So you're absorbing all the time that he could that he's not spending with all of these available women. Clearly, available women. Though he's available men, he's more in any time. Even when you're like right now, you're here obviously in a psychic reading. You're like, you don't know what he's doing right now. But right now, he's not even still yet on a like he's not with a woman going out for brunch or lunch or dinner. So he's really focused on the reading that was pretty much is spelling out for us very simply put. His interest is with you this far. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. 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 Okay. Okay. Hmm. Right. 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 Um, it's interesting that you bring up, October as something as a special time because October, November, these are special times for like people who are going to journey with you for a very long time. Hence, he and you meeting. Hence, he and you journeying together for meaning he and you journeying together for a very long time. I get the sense that you both are trying to understand what the two of you are to each other. I get that strong sense. I see you both, clearly, I see you both as a couple, at least in the psychic realm. I see it with my eyes, when I open my eyes and I say, I see your aura. I see both of your auras connected. I see a bond, a very special two people. That's what I see, a man and woman. And I think you both, clearly, I believe, and I'd say this, if you want to say from a innocent heart, not a naivety heart, with wisdom, I can tell you two would make a phenomenal couple, and I do believe that he is as a what do you call it, a devotional type of man. I think he's devotional. I think he's affectionate. I think he can be warm. I think he can be a protector, strong man, straightforward, down to earth man, and also protect the relationship, like talk about the relationship. And the reason why he's saying what's going on, if it's going on with you and you're like, come on, man, like you have all of the green light and you're not making any signal moves, like where's the initiatives, on your part, on his part, excuse me. He's on him, he's the him. Well, that makes total sense why your frustration because what is he expecting you to do? If he's running about, he knows what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to approach you and begin speaking with you and letting people know that you two, that he is your wing, you know, and he's nearby. That's what he's supposed to do. He knows the rules, the rule book. And I just get the sense that now there's certain things that he does that because they talk about him. The first thing they mention about his personality, I test our relationship. Did you know that? Meaning, each time that he and you get together, he tests to see if there's a connection. He tests it to see should is he allowed to pursue you or not. I mean, in other words, what's the other language? Oh, you know how, okay, if men, because Mother Nature has a balance, if men initiate, then women give the signal, right? So he's saying, did you actually get this, send the signal, and did he read the signals correctly? And is it okay if he pursue you? You give him permission, okay, then he'll continue pursuing. So he's trying to figure out. And some of these questions are genuine questions. But that one when he asks like, "Why are you ignoring him?" I think he's illustrating that. Don't think he's messing around, and don't think that he may act all like a social man, like all the people and maybe women are gravitating to him like a magnet. But he says, don't think that he's over there not thinking about you. He knows you two are supposed to be talking, and the special talk that he and you do. Mm, mm. Okay. Okay. Yes. I do. I like to count. Okay, so I'm a professional psychic, and I have 5 stars in all across all platforms, both in the USA, so United States of America, and Europe, all across Europe, and then the rest of the world, because both provide services all throughout the world. So I'm on it. So all platforms over six, all 5 stars from clients again all over the globe. And so I am trying to learn how to how to provide the same level of expertise in my professional work to you all, like on my YouTube channel, my TikTok, so, to keep the light going because you all don't have access to me. I'm exclusive to very specific clients. So I want to share the same level of quality of services that these exclusive people are getting, and so that you get these same services too. So the way that well, I would just need to know if you needed to set an arrange make an arrangement with me to work with me. And the way that I'm doing it now, I'm accepting inquiries, but I would have to send you. I would I would, well, you would need my I'm doing it through email. So like through email, like a business inquiry, then I would send you an invoice, explaining everything laid out, the fees with a fee and for the service, and then uh, conditions, terms, all of that, and then we would make an arrangement to do the reading. And of course, you can arrange the reading however you like. It could be through phone, video, chat only, uh, voice only. I don't want to show my face. Or you can say, I want to have it through email. That's fine as well. Yeah. So that, yeah, yeah. So my readings are paid readings. More on the pricey end, but that's because I'm seasoned, and so my over the years my tier has gone up. But I'm working with you all, so I want to deliver this because I Hippocratical oath, help anyone regardless of the tier, right? So I'm definitely not going to like be charging you my go rate. At least not at this time. So um but yeah, my rates will be affordable for you all. It won't be like, you know, easily my rates, are like $400 plus, but definitely far less than that. So we're talking about like $10 to $20. Yeah. But I know they have a link where people can send a link, PayPal, but not that way. I think that readings maybe should be privately done. So yeah, privately done readings. Yeah. So we would basically, I'm pretty sure I have my email. Let me check to see if I have the email, what, so I don't miss you guys. I might need to update my email. So 'cause the email that I'm constantly in, so that I will see it. It's just that sometimes when I offer this, people be trying to offer me crypto. I'm like, I predicted crypto. I don't need I don't need that from you. Okay, let's see. Um, it- okay. Oh, okay. I gotta check on it. 1 second. Okay, my handle. Why don't I even have? Wait, where's the? Oh yeah, okay, I got the right. Okay, that's the right email. So yeah, it's my tech test80gmail.com. Um, here, I'll just put it in the chat box. Uh, business inquiry and booking arrangements. I'll just remember to put this every time. There. Okay, so that will be how I start the day. So yeah, there it is. So you would just simply I just be sure to put that in the chat every from now on every time. All right, cool. But anyway, I hope everyone is having an amazing day. and everyone's doing fabulous, and you're enjoying the times. Hope you all are in a good mood. My thumbnail is crazy. I haven't changed my thumbnail yet, have I? Yeah, I was trying to get in here as quickly as possible, so let me see if I can fix the thumbnail. So I was very quickly trying to arrange my so I can just simply come in. Okay, so I think this is this one. Oh, I did it correctly. Um, okay, they're not giving me an option. Let's have to create one then. Let me choose a thumbnail. Whoops. There we go. I am going to do another Uri Geller video. I am going to. Uh, I just haven't so far, but I will. Okay, so I'll be sure from now on. I'll be sure to always include the email where you can reach out for a personalized, a custom reading for yourself. My channel is about myself reading for my clients that I have in my life right now. So, so in how you get in line, how do you fall in sync with the reading, or you arrange for your own reading? Um, just in the chat box under business inquiry and booking arrangement. I'll put add. Hold on, can I edit? Okay, hold on. I have to edit this. Okay, did a little bit of redaction. There we go. And then I can pin it. There. Now, that's my business card right there. My digital business card. There you go. So now you can decide if you want to reading for yourself, which I hope that you do consider, because I'm very good. Well, of course I'm very good. That's why you come in and you ask if the readings were paid. Yes, the readings are indeed. They are. These are paid psychic readings. But I also display my psychic gift publicly and open, and that a way people see my gifts and the way that I interact with clients in real time, in person. So I'm definitely not a scam. I'm definitely, I'm on all major company platform, and yes, I'm not done any scam reports. I'm not a fraud. definitely not. And the reason why it's paid because clients are paying for my services because my gifts are I'm truly a psychic. So that's why I deserve to be paid for my services. For, for if I read for a person for free, it's like me going to your local mart, food mart, and like bagging up a lot of like hundreds of dollars of groceries and saying, is it okay if I just run this up to my, can I leave? Like all I needed to do is come in and pick out what I want and go and leave. It's equivalent of that. Or you walk into a jewelry store and you say, I'd like to see that please. And you put it on it and I'm not saying you run off with it, but but you do say like, okay, I think I'll keep this. My 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 type of psychic abilities, my psychic services is a science. It's a commodity. So it definitely deserves to be treated as like, you know, anything, paying a membership to enter to utilize the equipment of the gym, all the way to sitting with a therapist for $40, for 1 hour, to pour out your emotions, pour your heart out, or you know, if the law enforcement, you know, becomes your taxi driver, right, and takes you to the big hotel, the big house hotel, and you had to pay for that service. It is yeah, you have to pay me, right, to read for you. Yeah. You have to be paid to be arrested. You have to pay. They said it costs to die. Somebody has to pay for the funeral. So, and then of course, you're like, well, no. Now, if you're cremated, oh, that costs to designate, clean, disinfect. Yes, it costs to be born. And so it definitely costs to walk the spiritual way. It costs you something. It costs you to sit in a church. They have um they have credit card runners and ATM in churches. You all have to get to the modern age. Yes, come catch up with us. So definitely, also money is spiritual. Literally, we have a planet about money. It's called Pluto, Scorpio, Taurus, and people always ask about their money and careers, always, or their inheritance, or whether or not if they've inherited any money, where to find a job. Do they, again, crypto? People call in, ask about crypto. So yeah. Anyway, you get it. Yeah. So yes, my services are definitely paid, and I bet yours are too. Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely even costs to make love. It even costs money to make love. So it should cost for you to have a spiritual encounter with me, which is equivalent of making love, by the way. Yeah, very intimate. Don't worry, after I practice a bit, I'll learn how to say that all much nicer. But it may take me some practice, okay? It's my first time. Okay, so um, I am trying to relax, and I'm sort of discovering how to um work with a very important company. So yeah, say they like for me to come in a lot early, which is like in the morning, and I should be on even now, but it's like, can you be in two places at once? Is that really possible? Like, go two places at once. Okay. Well, the good thing is, mm, well, I'm gonna have to figure that one out. Okay. So today is, oh yeah, today's the Wednesday, and I'll have a big live tonight, but not here. I'll be on TikTok tonight, um, at least for 45 minutes. So I'm actually, I might be able to drop in. I could go do do, do live at the same time. I could. Anyways. Hmm. Yep. So I've had a very strict week, and I've been reading since this morning. Um, the readings so far are healthy. It's just that over the next 3 days, the people I'm working with, they feel like they're hanging in the balance. So I just met like a newly couple, like those couples that look like they sound like a newlywed. Yeah, oh yeah, that's what the kind of couple I just read for. It's like, oh boy, you're a new couple, aren't you? You just married, yeah, newlyweds, just recently married. They sound like that vibration. It's like, oh boy, they are they know that they're chasing each other. They know they're gonna end up together, but at the same time, they're questioning everything, and people around them are like, get on with it already. But it's good that they have that information now. Now they know that they will one day be together. They haven't done anything at the moment either. They haven't done anything but all the basics. They've done the basics. So and we're gonna. I guide people to that space. I don't go in there, but I definitely guide them, guiding them both to that special place. Okay, I think. Let me see. I can sacrifice Thursday. I need to stop wigging out today. I'm gonna let today ride, and I don't want to take this for granted, but I'm very blessed for this first half, and I still have 3 more days to go. Well, 4 more days to go actually, and my weekend, my actual hours are approaching as well. This considering that this is a day off, sort of in a way. Oh, what I'm talking about? I'm being so mysterious. So I'm with the top companies of both Europe and USA. So I'm kind of greedy. So I had to figure out, okay, where to be at either one at any given time. And so far, I only know how to be at either or. So I kind of have to decide where do I want to be um, on either one at any given time. Sometimes it gets a little frustrating. I'm like, I don't know, should I go over here or should I go over there for today or for the next 8 hours, 16 hours? It's an interesting place to be in. There. So most of readings I think are like at least over the past few days or this week has have really been kind of like it's like getting people to admit what they have, and people have quite a bit, but we're human beings are impatient. So it's like the readings are reminding people what they have been able to accomplish thus far, and that it's kind of like when you were a young one and you wanted or you were told you could do something, but you had to wait till like the weekend, to the end of the weekend, to the top of the week. So it's like on Monday. Oh, I get to do it on Monday. Yes, and you're realizing, oh my gosh, it's Wednesday. So, and you keep asking over and over and over. That's what it's like. That's what I'm experiencing right now. They say we're all adults. It's pretty funny. So it's like, don't worry. I know you want it to happen on the 12th, but it's going to happen on the 14th. Like tomato, tomato. One thing is for certain, I figured out um, how to work. So clearly, oh yeah, by the way, my writing. In fact, I opened up my old work. Do I want to show you my curriculum? I don't know if I want to do that. I'll read you a paragraph. Want me to read you a paragraph from Theocentric? You like Theocentric metaphysics? Curriculum. It's a right. It's about limitations of the intellect, and basically, it's about what it's about. Okay, so you have the intellect, mind, and what it does is that it affects how one perceives what they can do in life, and in fact, it can be more limiting. Have you heard the expression "be on fire, be crazy for what you want in life"? You got to be kind of insane if you want to be really successful. It's kind of that principle, but broken down into a language that is more academic, and then it's of course is broken up into spheres, like it's based on a person's, obviously, their one's history. That would be representation of like statistics, right? Then of course in those statistics you're talking about the experience in life, maybe their education, so that would represent you know um, the normatives, the community normatives, um, the social, um, their social standing as well. Okay, and then their self-esteem, and so these parts can be very limiting. And then of course, how do we combat that? Well, then we come in with these high high value, high vibrational, like like university level metaphysics, metaphysical principles. But I've learned as a, because so there's metaphysics and then there's psychic. Like people, like if you go for a degree to get metaphysics, that don't make you a psychic. You don't have to be a psychic. You can say, oh, I'm not a psychic. I'm a life coach. So as a psychic, I apply the metaphysic universal university studies with my, oh, hello, welcome. Okay. A pleasure. Welcome. pleasure answering your questions today, and I hope you're. I know you got some serious questions for the guides. And where shall we begin? Okay, study an exam. Okay, you're in university, right? Oh yes, yes. Okay, I'm caught up. I got you. All right, your book just opened up to me. All right. You know, there's a way to open up your mind because we don't the college young people, they say I don't concentrate the way I used to. Why? What's wrong with me? Nothing's wrong with you. Your mind is opened up to the world. That's what your seventh chakra, your crown chakra is open. It's open in a good way because you can absorb all the information. It's there. It's just unlocking it. They said that you just have to have the ability. You're concentrating, right? But it's a matter of focus. That's two different things. So it's the focus element. That's what's going on. You're trying to squeeze these answers, they say out of your mind. Don't do that. Just focus. They say finding a focus point. It could be like a dot on the wall. Something we like to use candles, guru, because the gurus over there in the east, they'll use a candle, but you can also use a picture, a little flower. It's something that is like that is a distractor from all of your distractions that help you to, they say divert into your inner mind, to where you're in your own little space and you can kind of like get past all these annoying little sounds on the outside, chipping away at your concentration. So that's how you want to move forward, with your, as you said, getting beyond the block. Because when we try, in fact, the harder you try to concentrate, the more of a block you create. Does that make sense? It's kind of like I'm concentrating till you start daydreaming, for example. Okay, so what it is your mind actually needs to be freed, not restrained. Don't It's free. It's unshackled, and it's annoying because you used to could you kind of like bound it and kind of push it, force it to produce. But now it's yeah, you got to do it. It's got to be a little different now. Now it's you got to actually, because it's developed now. Now you got to focus all that power, that brain power, and then it will get you to the answers you desire. The answers you desire. Okay. Hmm. Right. Right. Okay. Understood. Understood. I get the feeling is that her energy is way high, and she's I believe she's empathic. She may not fully understand that she is. She's reading your energy, so she might thinks that is her own energy, and and you're like you plug when you, I guess, tapped into her vibration. She felt everything that you were feeling. It's like a spiral. There's like a spiral that's going like the spinning, like the world is spinning around emotionally. That's what she felt. And she was going through the like the motions of the pursuit, the feeling of chasing, being chased, of romance, all the hearts, the gossip, things that people say. Although it's not, she's not saying anything. Then she thought to herself, because I don't think she's fully, I think she knows about empathy, that her, this emotions that connects to people, and she knows that much. But sometimes, like, she doesn't know it fully, because she says she had to take a step back from you, even because she wasn't upset with you. It's just that she had to kind of like see which emotions with hers, because she didn't know she was jealous. She's like, wait a minute, am I being jealous? Why should I be jealous? I should be happy for my friend. But I should not be jealous of my friend. No, I'm not jealous of my friend. Oh, I had the emotions. They weren't my emotions. That I don't understand them fully. It's not that I'm not jealous. It's that I have emotions I'm working with. I don't understand them because they don't really belong to me. The emotions I'm picking up around the situation. But myself, she's actually quite happy for you being in the relationship. That hence she found her, she's able to, they say, balance out. She's balancing, as you said, she balanced out some. She was able to ground. She's learning. Oh, by the way, she's also quite sensitive. They said that, like, right, she does fear. So when she thought she was jealous of you in a bad way, she also could think like, okay, now you're gonna reject me as a friend, and that would hurt me if you say we can't be friends. And then she started hesitating, start second guessing if how if you're her friend, like a true genuine friend, because she really does care about your friendship. Okay. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Right. And that's what um, like people who are empathic do, and without knowing, when they don't understand what that they're pulling on other people's energies and not necessarily their own. Everything you just said, that this is the result of that. Right. Like especially being in a relationship, not being happy, but yet not understanding how to get out of it. Okay. Like she can tell you how to draw boundaries and how to assert yourself, but she cannot do it herself in her own life. You nailed it. That's what you said exactly. Yeah. And so she's, as you say, tapped in to all of the emotional like things that you like these things that you might like subconsciously and deeper emotionally, that it may pass through you. But of course, you're it's happening to you, so you're going to be on the hopeful side. She is herself, and she's very, of course, she's empathic, makes her sensitive to these that's most subtle of the emotions. So for her, it's like it's all on the intercom or something. It's on the speakerphone, and so she can hear it loudly. And you're like, I didn't know. I don't notice any of that. That's not even what my thoughts are. I think that he's like you described. Like I know his situation. I'm looking at it. I see him. He told me. I can observe, the situation. Yeah, she's empathic. She's not meaning to do it. She just doesn't understand that she's doing it. Okay, she doesn't understand that she's doing kind of like a person who's being psychic. Like sometimes, like when you're psychic, you got experiences, and but yet you didn't know you were doing it. You then you think about it like a year later, and you're like, oh wow, I said this and it happened, or I was thinking this and I didn't even take any notice to it until now. That's her situation. She'll be thinking about this months from now and saying, oh my gosh, I was really tapped into something I didn't understand. Mhm. Distance yourself. Oftentimes, it's better to allow some space. You don't have to break up with the friendship. You don't have to experience a friendship breakup, but definitely some time apart will calm things down some, and then meet mutual on a mutual ground, like somewhat time like as the summer progresses. You both may meet at a at a like a festival or park together, and this would be just the girls. We got a cool drink, some bread. Uh-huh. Yes, empathic people, right? Because emotionally draining. That's right. Because they gain energy, especially in the midst of chaos. Okay, yeah. She'll thrive in your chaos. So yeah, you got to draw your boundary, and you have to assert that you know your own emotions because you can distinguish your emotions. She cannot because she has to feel yours, but you definitely don't have to feel hers like that. You have to draw that boundary line. A pleasure. Right. I see it constructive. Like, okay, she may feel like the shakiness and some of the flyby emotions, but what about how you both are working on those things to making the relationship stronger, the foundation of the relationship stronger, the structures to set in place so that you both can have a healthy, loving experience. You care for each other. By the way, um, there's nothing going on with his ex, the mother of his child. It's his business at this point. It's like right, managing life. That's pretty much it. Like how to do that and be his own person. That's the mindset. He's consciously in this mindset. I do business with the mother of my child, of course, but I'm also learning how to be my own life, be my own person. I'm not her partner. I don't get to tell her how what she's doing make me feel uncomfortable. She can go out and see what she wants. Of course, as long as she's safe, because the child is safe. And then, but I get to go off and be with the like he gets to go off and be with you, right? And so that's not a problem there. He's not losing his mind over this. But it is challenging. It's tricky. It is tricky because he's thinking that the relationship is, as you say, business sense. So it doesn't allow him to have that connection that he had once upon a time. And he's in a relationship with you, and then here's how she feels about it, because that could be an issue. But he's managing it with his in his conscious mind, and he says we're through. But when he said the day he said we're through, it was done right then and there, and he's never felt the need to return to that relationship. Mhm. Yes. Mhm. Yes. The first puzzle that where the sunlight is, he needs to focus in on the sun, the sun, the shining sun, but on a soul level, the soul sun. He needs to write this sun. He needs to say to the ex, I'm ready to move on firmly into my relationship, and because it's okay, I'm going to let you know there's changes happening in my life, but I'm still present as a dad, as a father. I'm still present I still support you as the mother of our child. I'm ready to move on to the next chapter, I think I've met someone. I think he think he's ready to fall in love. He's ready. That he needs to have that conversation, and it's a dry conversation to have. He's still when he that's the one thing. He is through with the relationship, but he's not quite ready to drop, as you say, drop the bombs. Drop the big one. Like I've fallen in love, and we're moving in, and we're thinking about becoming engaged, and going to be a big family in the house together. He's not ready to drop that on his ex yet. Well, it's more so the feeling. It's the feelings. Like people who you say intimately, empathically connected with. You're kind of careful the words you use. It's that kind of situation because he has an empathic connection to her because being they got a child together. Hmm. So he's being actually cautious, careful. He's like, well, I just want to. Okay, when I say this, I just want to say it delicately, but I want to say it enough that's mean that I mean it, but also that any no red flags or gets triggered, no alarms go off because I'm still a dad. I'm still very much I can do both. I can do both. Right. Okay, good. He says he can do both. Beautifully said, man. I like him. Think he's a good guy already. I can balance both. He's learning. He's trying to tell her, but it's like a listening to a dissertation, and in monotone. He's like, I can have my life, have my house, and have my new love of my life, and I can also be a phenomenal dad. And and whatever you need, whatever I can do in my power ability to do it, I can assist you as you're stabilizing wherever as a being he's the other parent, where you in co-parenting, wherever you may need me, I can do it. He's trying to find a way how to the words to say that. He's been thinking about it for a long while, and he's dreading it every time he gets the day he's gonna say it, because to him it sounds like it's almost like okay, like it's like a low. Is it a low shot? And it's not. It's just being transparent, but at the same time, it's reinforcing that he's there because not the idea that okay, I'm gonna go live my life now. He's like I don't want she given the impression that he's gonna go live his life now and forget all about the maybe the child between that is nowhere near his thoughts. Being able to accomplish this. I think right now, I think it's okay. So you made a point when but you're, I like the way you're handling things. Like okay, he's lived right, so he's got a child and all that. And you're like, hey, you're the lady that says, hey, we need to focus on being a father for now. Don't worry, we're still gonna be here. But he's like, no, 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 like, and but he is right because he has to be an adult and have an adult relationship. Okay, so and of course be the dad, like you said. So you both are right, but most importantly, he does need to focus on you right now. Right now, it's about you. Yeah, absolutely. Good job. All right. Okay. Okay. So very good. Very good. Whew. We're saving relationships. That was a very complicated relationship because you have a child with one person, but then you fall then more life happens and you fall in love with another person. But this like a healthy situation. Like it happens, since divorce is very real and it happens. Divorce, having kids from a previous relationship. marriage happens when one can transition their lives to a new love, for example, in my client's situation, that is something to celebrate. We celebrate that because they're doing this beautifully. So it's like, yeah, he needs to do that, but he needs to spend time with you. That's correct. He does need that right now for the next 4 days. He needs to spend time with her right now. It's about her for now. Hmm. Yeah. And I didn't have time to explain to her why he needs this adult relationship is because he's a pillar. It's like when there's a reason why, like military, they have to stay in shape. There's a reason why they have to stay in shape because they have to be fortified mentally, strong, physically. Well, the same way, like when you're a parent, you are the first line of defense. So, at least of the house. So you have to be what I call a pillar. And you have to, when there are these times where you need to be maintenance. And being a pillar means having a relationship. You're human, so you're not cement. So, we got somebody, a custodian coming to wash you off every morning. No, you're a person. And if you're fortunate enough where there are two pillars, then you both have to make sure that the pillars of the structure is strong and fortified. Because if the structure is unstable and unsafe, then then the parents are the adults are unsafe, and then the children, the family, are unsafe. But when the pillars are strong, tall, fortified, and communicating as human people, communicating and having adult private time, they can be the best pillars that they can be to each other. And then they're the best pillars for the children. Huh? Donald here. Oh, well, she definitely was listening to something. Sure. If she's ready here for a psychic reading, if you're here for a psychic reading, or is she here for a psychic reading? Oh, she's here for a psychic reading. A pleasure. Yeah. So what I was saying to the last bit where just before you were cut off, is that he right now he needs to focus on you right now. He needs to focus on you right now because you're strong. He's a pillar, but you are a pillar. You both are strengthening each other, and then because you both are strong, you both the structures that are being developed here, right? You both are creating structure, like on your way to create having your home together. Well, you both are going to be strong in any circumstance, all areas of life, whether it be his family situation, the relationship between he and you. Hmm. So that's why he's saying no. He can do both. That's why he's right. He can do both. But I was commending you as a woman saying take care of your business. Don't worry. We know we're good. He's like We know he needs to strengthen with you because that's going to make him stronger. And for you, and plus on another level, on the love level, you know that you're the middle, you're the center of his mind right now, the apple of his eye. You're the focus of his heart, and that means something. And then strength through love on the inside, strengthen. Of course, in order to get love, you got to have the ability to before you can give it, you got to be able to receive it. And so he's open to receiving your love, and he's ready to receive your love so that he can give that love back to you. It's a strong sign. He's ready to move into these more sophisticated, togetherness between he and you going towards the future, which I believe the 14th. So how long is he gonna have to kind of slide back and forth? I think across the weekend. Next week, he's gonna be more active. That's the time when he's gonna have figured out how to open up this, to the middle of the problem and say things as they are and speak them to her, but in a way that is empowering for both of them, for the both of them. Hmm. Oh, I was sitting here in meditation because, when I, I already I have a connection with you, so I can read you without being on the phone with you. I was hearing that it's a total like this is a healthy uh, transition for everybody, even for for his ex. This is healthy all across the board. She's not. He's gonna realize that she's not bothered by him moving on. Like that's not an issue, and she didn't get the idea that he's being like he's apathic or not caring. He just want to just leave. And so she's not given that impression at all. So she's very like comfortable. Like okay, you good for you. She's gonna go and find her world as well. But more, and then of course this is your important time right now. You're reading. You're he's where is he going? He's moving into your warm embrace. He's moving to your warm embrace, but everyone is applauding it. This is good. In other words, beneficial. It's healthy. Everybody can move on well, and as you two are moving on well between yourselves, he and you. Okay. I yes. Every time I say this, the spirit world has brought it up and say, Jamaica, you're in Jamaica, you should reconsider. It's like I'm done with it. I know the old world, the old time made you so upset. You're like, I'm not even going there. I'm not even thinking about it right now. But that's good because that means you're thinking about this man in your life who is better than ever. And so I always believe that you would return back to Jamaica. In fact, I still get that strong sense that there's some kind of connection there because I felt that you have a like a bit of spirit connection, a soul connection to that land, to that island. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I could, and I said that. I said, we used to talk about you getting a piece of property in Jamaica specifically. Yep. Of course, he does want to get a house too, wherever you decide to get a home. But yeah, I mean, considering we're still talking, we'll talk about a little bit about Jamaica, but the house is a yes. I saw that in the earlier part of the reading. And then in this one, I know that has been on the mind for sure, property in Jamaica. But definitely, when he says that, it's not ideally. I can see him, like he's a man by himself with his house. No, he's like, he can see the both of you having a house together. That's what he's saying. He means it. He is so serious about this topic. Hmm. Right, right. It's not. It's the productivity, not the opportunity. The opportunity is already in front of him, It's just that he hasn't taken the baton and run with it. He has the opportunity is already in his hands. I'm looking at this like he's like he already has the means, but he hasn't just taken the scepter and said, okay, this is the way it's going to be. That's because he is going through a life change. He, you know what they call it, like the not a lifestyle change. His lifestyle change, I don't think it's going to change. Like he may claim that it's changed because he's thinking, here he is, this man now, you know, once again a bachelor, but he has a family as you know to think about. You know, so he might put it off like that, but in real on paper, he's more in control. They describe him as rather than not being in control. And then his bosses. Let's talk about his bosses. The bosses, the men, you know, like the people we work with. They're saying to me, there's a gentleman said before with like like medium brown hair, and a short guy, and he's saying blue eyes. He said you know, the opportunity is here. You just need to get here. We got plenty of means for them to make money. It's not a matter of making cash. It's doing it comfortably. Like right now, I'm losing. I'm going crazy thinking about you know this and I'm making the right decision. I know I'm feel like he's falling in love and he wants to make the right decision with you. And is it the right time? He's got to break this bad. He considers to be sour news, but actually it's empowering news that he's ready to move on, you know, and then you know she's okay, ready to move on as well. You know, they get that understanding so that everyone can begin living their lives to the fullest. Meaning he goes and start making use of these opportunities to the fullest. Money, where his money is at. But they said he's already in the space. He's already is linked up with the businesses that's going to get him the monetary money, the money he just needs to get. You say he needs to focus too. He just needs to focus. Mhm, mhm, right. Mhm. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to address it or speak about it because all of this other stuff is what he wants to speak about. He wants to speak about what he has to say to her, what he has to say to you, why he has to say it to her, his the way that is, you know, is a the new way of the new life that he's going to lead. He wants to talk about that instead. I think you'd rather, in fact, to be, if I, okay, so let's take out all the extra stuff and just make this more about you. This gentleman wants to speak more about you than speak about all of the money in the world that he can make. I think he has to first, like, first of all, do you love him? He wants to ask you that question. Do you really, like, how, like, are we, like, seriously, are we going to get a house together? And then he's like, okay, I'll go out and then you become a wealthy man for you because that'll make you happy. Hmm. Hmm. Yes. Mm, yes, they said that still a little farther out. I know she's things are gonna brighten up for her in the upcoming week. Upcoming week, things will look up a little bit better for her for the interviews. She'll interview very well in the upcoming week. Hmm. A pleasure. Okay. Oh gosh. Okay, so now you know how I work. Yes, when I read, see, that's why I'm okay. Now I can speak to you like street language, like you know, like you just like at the bus stop. I don't want to connect with everybody. You know why? Because when I that's like I explained to her, I don't have to be on the phone to read you. So I definitely want to be mindful. I want to, yeah, I definitely want to connect with people with a purpose and with intention. Right. I don't need to be connected with everybody, any and everybody. So definitely, I it's important that I am selective, especially at this level. Like with them, like they're in Europe, but they're in a position where they could, I think they're going to be getting a house in Jamaica, and that's going to be their home, you know. So, but anyway, they're going to get a house together nonetheless, whether if it's in Jamaica or in Europe. But he wants to be with her, so like let them be happy. Mm, yeah. So, so, let's see. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Okay. Anyway, so I'm always connected with her. Finally, she, yeah, she has a big story. Her story takes us back to where she fell in love with a man who was a native, from the island who is Jamaican. And he's a little rough because she's definitely she's London, a nurse, and her mom's a nurse and things like that. She has a daughter, like it's like the women, like matriarch herself. Now she's got a daughter. Her daughter is looking for a job, all that. Okay, so she also has children, like one with special needs. Okay, so she fell in love with this man who's Jamaican, but also who has who's just had a rough go of life for a while. But the thing about him, he is good looking and tall and all of that, and with the tan, a Jamaican tan at that. And so he begins becoming a driver, and he's fresh coming out of being incarcerated, uh, jail or prison. He gets out. He's with his grandmom, and so he gets accustomed to this kind of job that puts him in this sort of like in a social space. I mean, like he's on TikTok, etc. Because everybody loves him, especially the women who are tourists. Because what he does is that he's a driver, but he's that type of personality, that type of man that people, but not just women, but the women is what makes him so noticeable, because the women want to. Okay, so then there's women, then and the men, everybody wants to take him off off course, and take detours to the mall and dress him up and buy him things. So he ends up so he's making the money of you would say like a I guess a taxi driver made into a kind of like a luxury driver, who is, good looking, tall, Jamaican for tourists. So all of that, and they have him dressed in clothes that are like high dollar, like right off the rack. And so she's like, "Where are you getting this money?" And then she couldn't help herself, so she goes and looks, and the ladies, they want to take TikToks with them, and they kind of finesse or prounce around him, and this that kind of, and this lady is like, who's all the way in the UK, is like, "What do you think you're doing?" and and then yes, okay, sometimes obvious, sometimes he asks for money. um of course we had to, which he thought nothing of it, because it wouldn't be a significant amount. It would only be like, well, for a pair of shoes, because he's trying to. So they have him dressing. They keep dressing him up, and so he's trying to keep up a certain kind of look, rather than the dressing up that they're giving him. He's like asking her, "Well, I want to get these shoes. I want to get this shirt." It was always for something like something small, But I was like, yeah, that's just, this is like him using this as a bond because she's so far away. So I got her to stop doing that, um, because she has it. She's like, oh, it's no big deal, but it's energetically a big deal because yeah, he's asking for like, $20, $40 only, right? Nothing large, but it's the principle. She go to she's going to sleep with that on her mind, and plus she's running on the fringes with me. So I'm like, this is clearly affecting you physically. Don't do it again. So gradually I had to wing her off of giving in. So she finally said no. And then he was like, okay, no problem. And oh, about then I now I can say. And so the women, some they kind of want to like they want to take him with them into their tour for Jamaica. So now he's driving them around, all over Jamaica. He's hanging out with them, and they're buying them things. And sometimes it's just them, and now they're sitting in the front seat. Shouldn't they be in the back seat if he's just driving them around? And he's like changing in and out of clothes all the time. It's just chaos, right? So and then she would spend money to go to fly to him, and it's just a lot to figure out. Could he ever make it to where he could actually fly to her and visit her into to London? Okay, so all of that. So, anyways, uh, she went there, married like fast, fell in love with him. Her, pretty much on a tour himself on herself. Oh, she also, has a home, a property there, um, and things like that, and work with the they had to work with the government to secure the home there. An elderly woman lives in the home. She also takes care of her aunt and has some people take care of the aunt while there. She wants to be able to come to Jamaica and kind of like take over the estate there in Jamaica and kind of run it herself, which I felt was productive. Now, when she comes there to do all these things, also she want to buy a home for herself in Jamaica. But yeah, when she comes there now, she'll have a man, the man that she's meant to be with. She'll have a man she that she that she approves of to join her along this journey. Because at first this was a journey that she would, more or less kind of she was handling all by herself. She really needed a lot of help and people who actually live there on the island to do the work, and you had to trust that they'll do it, and that was a whole nother ordeal. But anyway, yeah, that's so anyway, so she ends up she had to like so this tall man, who's Jamaican, I imagine she had to kind of like put his arm behind his back and like make him sign the papers, the divorce. He's I'm not signing, come here, meaning fly to Jamaica. And then I was like, no, he's not going to. You gotta be like chasing him all around the house, all in the yard. Like putting the papers before in front of him. He gets up and walk away. He won't sign just because you go there. And he's like, no, I sent him the paper. He should just sign. So this is crazy. So finally, she finally like okay, because he really did like her, in love with her. Um, he couldn't prove that he wasn't doing anything with these other women. He wasn't doing anything with the women. It was just he couldn't stop taking his chances. He couldn't stop rolling the dice. He kept rolling the dice, and it just was not rolling favorably. And he just didn't get it. He's like, well, you can't control me. I do what I want to do. He's feeling good. He's like, if I want to wear, if they want to buy me clothes, they can. I'm not doing anything with them. I told you I'm not with them, sleeping with them, with none of it. When you coming, if you're here, you don't have to worry about all of that. Aren't you gonna move here? That kind of thing. And she was like still testing, to see what kind of man he will be, all this. So eventually, yeah, it led to she wanting filing a divorce for divorce, and also she's inheriting a lot, like lump sum, lots of money, as well. Kind of like an estate sort of situation, and on top of all of what she's already amassing to support her endeavors to take care of her aunt, to take care of, like, to invest in a home where she can. Um, when she first thought about this, she wanted just to go there, like have a place, a home to go for vacation. She could take her children, and they can make it appropriate for for people with or for children, yes, who have disabilities. And so that was, that beautiful. And then get also, invest in a chair, a special high dollar chair. I'm assuming like an electrical chair so that they can get around easier and get a sense of freedom, so they can, because she likes to go out and about in public and do events and go to the beach. I mean, she's very, very active. Um, uh, as is her ex husband. Um, Also, he's very, but it's that they needed to be active together. Like getting them to be active together. That was, she just didn't trust him to let her guard down with him. This new gentleman to bring him back to start blessing this story. She's got a guy in her life who, it was like, okay, so there's this guy he wants to meet, and they've been, and so this was last year. She asked about him in the reading, and they've been talking since, and now that they want to do all these things together. He took her on one date. I said I was going to take his one date, and I had to convince her. She was convinced to go, just to see, no expectations. They've been talking since. So anyway, that's the good story. That's to end it on a good note. So she's got this man who will not leave her side. Would like, no, no, I'm not gonna. He's not gonna walk away. Then you start talk. Then she starts talking. Another man approaches her while he's in his absence. No way. He said, no, we're gonna do this now. We're gonna solve this now. So, yeah, he's very much just like a stand up type of guy. Very favorable and likes her ideas. He's okay with her ideas, so it's not like a pushback. The other guy, yeah, is like he just got freedom. He just got freed or something. This guy that incoming is like, you know, um, like their values. They share the same values. In other words. So anyway, that's the story. So yeah, so she's another. I have so many great stories. Um, clients' lives unraveling, like yarn, like a ball of yarn, and utilize, combine with other people yarn both to create beautiful designs. You know, um, creating a wonderful fabric. Fabric on the timeline, fabric of life. So, hmm her I love when moms, and like when I guess when people feel so comfortable with me that, let's say, like, the husbands allow their wives to call me. Husbands will call and the wife will be nearby. They will couples, husband and wife will call at the same time, or girlfriend and boyfriend. Moms will call, things like that. Dads will call. Moms call on behalf of the sons who are adults, or the daughters who are adults. Sometimes the adult child will speak with me on the very same call, by the way. So I love when the readings work like that, because it's like, that's when I feel like, see, that's what's about the Hippocratic Oath. Now I'm helping. This is about community. You help in the community. So even like the reading where there's the ex, somebody's ex. Okay, my client and her man, they got their way. Whatever happens to the ex? Even I'm even reading don't worry, like, yes, I'm even reading and blessing the ex, like sending the ex even good energy. So it's about community and bringing people together, and people come together in many ways for many reasons, and it doesn't have to always be in the way we think it is. So I always try to, people say, do you ever read anything bad? Well, what I'm reading now, the things I'm reading right now are things you didn't want, that are unbeneficial to you, or doesn't make sense to you, why it keeps happening. That's bad right there. So let's start there and figure this one out, figure these things out. Then we do. And then, more empowering things like, oh, you just say good things. She already had her bad, like, if you have an ex-husband on a completely different continent, like a continent like Jamaica continent, and you have the only time you get to see them really, you can call them, but there's always a stipulation. But you can see them on TikTok. You have to scroll on TikTok to see them, to find them, to see where they are. Isn't that bad? That's bad. That is bad. That's the bad part. So it was time for the good part. It was time for something different, in everybody's lives. And of course, now, when I read for him, he's not as bad as I'm depicting him. By the way, I know it's hard to believe, because he genuinely did want to stay married. He really did. He really did not want a divorce. He was under the impression he was like living the big life, and his finances and his ways of making money just, and also for his personality. He just didn't know that he was such a character, and he ended up, realizing that, character. He's quite charismatic, and he can make money with it. He just, but and he doesn't even have to. But but he did emotionally. Okay, so to my client's benefit, she wasn't going. She's not crazy, because there's such thing as called emotional relationships. You know what they say. Uh, if you're a tourist, or if you're a tourist, you got there is no lack of natives wanting to sell you a fantasy. Sometimes they're trying to force you to they're like, oh, no, no, you can't snub, you know their service, because it makes their service look. Are you trying to say their service is bad? So yeah, they try to force you to take on their services. Yeah. So yeah, it's crazy. I I have I don't know. I walk a very weird position in this lifetime. Like, you know, okay, so when I've traveled, I'm having a fantastic time, and I'm just laughing all over the place. But then I would, like, do a selfie, and then when I have come to, back to my senses, and I look at the photos, I see somebody like mugging me, mugging. And I'm not even, the camera's not even like, it's not even about not wanting to be on the camera. I mean, literally, like I would stab you in the back. Yeah, I would stab you with something, and the closest sharp object. I did notice that. I was like, yikes. And I also noticed that, okay, so like, you're a tourist, and like, everyday people will sometimes interject themselves into like, they make themselves part of the entertainment. I hate that. I hate when, like, the resident people make themselves part of the entertainment. I like, stay away. Please don't do that. It's like, it's kind of creepy. Like, it's not like an actual entertainer. Okay, like, okay, so if you go to Vegas, everybody's going to Vegas. Everybody knows what happens in Vegas. So you go there and you see somebody, you know, as they are, right? In their birthday suit, right? Well, somebody who is more likened to, like somebody who just lives there, who's out for a hot dog, right? They walk up to you and squeeze your titty. Like, what? Like, a stranger walks up to you and like, grabs your love handle. You're like, don't, like, stay away. Stay away. Keep away. So I've had so many fantasies romancing, that I start wearing a shirt like they wear in the airport. I'm taken, or, look, I don't know you. Don't touch me on the back, or don't touch me in the back. Please don't touch me on the back. I know you might be security or law enforcement. just have me turn around, or right, or something like that. Or I know you own. I know this is your business establishment. This one's maybe one in California, but please do not touch me. Just walk walk in front of me and just address me, please. All that on your shirt, on his regular T-shirt, in big bold white letters. Yeah, letters got to be white. You know, like repelling letters, paralyzing letters. Behind the, it could be a black or dark or deep blue shirt. Like like I don't know you. Yes, I'm a tourist. Don't approach. You're you're not the clown. I didn't. You're not the clown. There are clowns. There are entertainers. There are street performers. You're just eating a hoagie. You're just eating a what they call those things. I forget what they call them. A waffle with powdered sugar on it. What is that called? What's the name of those? A wafer. A wafer. You're just eating a wafer. You don't do flips. You're not flipping over, you know, hundreds of people, like a group of people. Like, stay out, stay out, stay away. And then the way that they smile, like, okay, so because you got the camera right, you selfieing. They're in the back, knife, like staring at your back like knife dagger, like it's which is the nine of swords, uh, staring at you like the nine of swords. Look up the nine of swords. And if you're one, yeah, hopefully you're not one of these types of people, of persons who do this. If you are, please don't do that. So yeah, they don't even realize that they're. Well, at least they don't realize that you just snapshot them forever. So anyway, I'm definitely gonna be. Oh gosh, I'm gonna be a whole lot. I have score to settle. I'll just say it that way. I'm definitely gonna be like, I didn't ask you that. All I need from you, or do the hey, don't even try it. Hey, don't even try it. Oh my gosh. So, hmm oh boy. So, yeah. Um. Well, anyways, so she made it back to London, and on her, like, the moment she made it back, she met a guy that, like, one, it was like that guy was like waiting there for her, and he was nervous and kind of was like, I don't want to talk anymore. When she told him that she was going, she had to go, she was going back. She didn't want to tell him why. She didn't tell him why, but she was kind of trying to reassure him that it wasn't to go see a man, because that was also a time when she was going to go there to just to get the story straight and to check up on her property. That was it. But he was like, no, no, like he thought she was. He's like, no, 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 no. I know, you're going to Jamaica. I know what you're doing. It's like, no, that's not. It's not what she's doing. So so we had to work through that, and yeah, all of that. I reaffirmed to her. I said, "Don't worry, he'll be back." All he needed to know, basically, what was so specific. Right, I'm very specific with personalities and what the reaction is going to be. It wasn't so much that she was going. It was more like, okay, you're not interested in me, okay. And so I said, don't worry. He just thinks you're not interested, but when you come back, all you have to do is touch bases, like make sure that there's a touching of bases, that you two touch bases. That's all you have to do, because he only thinks that you're not interested and that you're like, okay, you've moved on, you're gonna go, live life wherever it is you choose to do. And so he's just kind of ready for you not to return back. He's expecting you maybe that you don't. All you do is just the way that we defeat this is just simply touch base with him. She did, and they're still talking today. It's June. This was no late November into this moving into just moving into December. It was the first 2 weeks of December. First 2 weeks of December. So that puts us like 7 to 8 months. Solid 7 months for sure. And yeah, turns out he's the one. All right, so that's the styles of okay. So that's the level of sophistication when I say psychic readings. That's the level of psychic readings I want to read. Okay, so that's why it's only appropriate that I charge. I mean that I do paid readings. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty great day. It is noon, and we are still trying to figure some things out. Um, we're trying to figure things out and see what happens. hmm Um, okay, what happened? Oh, okay. Hmm. Wait a minute, let me get this again. Um, I'm trying to stay out of the news. I know people are like, well, you have anything to say? It's a lot of human nature's things. There's a lot of things that, that good people are in a position to being human. That's what I see for now. I just don't want to, I'm just not interested. I have my own things to, right now, I mean, like, I'm not raised in a position. They're right now, the people who are platformed, I'm gonna let them have it. I'm not platformed in that way. I'm working on it, and I know that that's my deal. I take full responsibility. But I always said I'm not in a rush. I just want to focus on, you know, with my clients, read for them. And it used to be, when I'm here, I'm here. Kind of like that hasn't changed because I mean, I haven't changed that in any substantial way. So far, I think that coming on live at 10 a.m. seems to work. So I've been coming live on 10 a.m. That's because I began working for Europe at 10 a.m. But I actually started working at 3 a.m. in the morning. Outside world is 9 a.m. In this world, it's on its way. People are stirring and waking up, and maybe up in the middle of the night thinking. So I'll make myself work through that. Um, 6 a.m. Uh, the West is open. Well, West has been, nope, I'm not going to bring it up. I'm not tapping into it. I am letting you platform people. You all do it. Right now, I need to preserve, I need to speak about the lives that I can affect now that who hear me because they don't hear me. People, yeah, I need to focus with people who hear me. And right now, that's clients and their lives. Every life is important to me, at least to me. Every life is important to me. So that's So that's that. And I'm going to leave that there. But I do have something I want to share, though. I want to talk about, okay, so something is connected to still about Uri Geller, though, a little bit, but it's not about him specifically. It's just that a conversation that stems from that conversation, from the Uri Geller conversation, which is certain people are going to like it. I'm not even going to give it away, but it's going to be a good one. I'll tell you this much. Um, one tarot card, the Tower, and yes, it's a world conversation, but I don't want to, I don't want to. If I start talking about it right now, I'll have to go into it. So, and yeah, it's gonna be its own special live. I'm just not sure when I'm gonna. Kind of waiting for some things to happen before I take I take on this journey. And it's one of those types of discussions where it's one stone, two birds type of thing. Wow. Or one bullet, two people these days. But anyway, or one stone, one stone. That was not nice to say. Um, that's the way Uri Geller speaks. So I think I'm tapping into his energy. Okay, so let me detach. So you okay, no Uri Geller. Okay. So okay, here I am. So the conversation is a beautiful discussion and it raises awareness. So it's definitely me. That part's me. You know how I like to talk about world events and what's going on in the world and make my predictions. So it's one of those, but I don't want to tell you what it is because then it will spoil the surprise. Um, I imagine I'm going to do it maybe on a Thursday. Tomorrow seems like to be the best time to do it because it's a day off time for me and also a day where I can try new things. I need to stop saying day off. There's no such thing as a day off. I meant a day for trying new things. That'd be Monday for me and Thursdays. Hmm. Oh, I also hope that um, everybody is, as you say, doing good. Hope everyone's having a great day in spite of everything. Wait, what? Oh, I'm not supposed to be. See, um, my mind is like quantum leaping right now. I'm thinking I'm supposed to be like I'm like, why am I not signed in? I was like, cause you're in the other place. Kind of like when you're like, where's my cell phone? And but it's in your hand. That's the funniest thing. Okay, so what was I looking for? Okay, I was looking for something specific. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, now I remember. Hmm, let's see. Um, hmm, Hmm. I think so. Like a little quick sound check. Okay, I'm back. All right. I had to drive myself a little outside the box, just a little bit. I think I'm going to relax a small bit, and um, yeah, it's definitely going to actually be a good thing. Um, so what's interesting is that the doors are going to open up. They're going to fling open. One thing I will tell you, you want to be ready. You want to be ready when those doors fling open. You need to run through those doors because right now, if your journey is like any of my clients, you're just waiting. You're like, it'll be here in a minute. So, but you already have, you've already signed on, you've already, agreed. They've already, it's already been paid through and through on both sides. Like it's here. So then when those doors fling open, of course I guess that's the gazelle. Your feet hit the ground and running. Let your feet hit the ground and running to your goal. Hmm. But yesterday's reading, oh my gosh, it was like, except for one, but all Dark Soul, I mean, all people who like, like, yeah, like if you said, well, have you ever had to like no good stuff, you just absolutely had to tell a person, but like everything they asked was like a no. Yes, yesterday. It happens, but it's very rare when when that happens. Those are things times when people are stubborn. Like the time when I am the universe is like I'm trying to do something, I'm trying to force it, and the universe keeps telling me no. It's one of those times. So, but I did have amazing readings though, especially with one of my clients. They have their dream life, but then there are some that just it's like how many ways can universe say no? Well, have they sent you the trusted psychic yet? What? Psychics? No. Well, then, no. You have not been told no in all the ways to be told. Mm-hmm. So, but anyway, the good thing is, universe always, one thing the universe does, universe doesn't always give you what we want, but universe always gives a direction to getting what we want. Um, it's a bit trickier when you're talking about, well, what if you want a very specific thing? What if you want a very specific person? To be more specific. Okay, that's a bit tricky. But spiritually, the way, it makes more sense where you say, well, first of all, when you petition the universe is quite literal. You said, I want a guy or gal who treats me well, treats me fair, who treats my kids and their kids fairly, who loves my kids, who loves me, who will stand with me up against my parents and their parents, and always want to communicate. As okay, when you start becoming that detailed, universe gives you exactly what you asked for. It's like, no, you asked for. I'm not gonna negative vibe any name, but any name you can fill in. We gotta make up a name. um Blank. Not blanket. We know that's a name. I haven't met a blank yet. So blank. So whoever blank is, they're like, no, you didn't say you wanted blank. You said you wanted a person who treats you well, loves you, treats you with respect, who honors your wishes, who doesn't try to manipulate you knowingly, who can respect that you also have, um, you know, um, a mom or an aunt that you have to look after, and you have a vision, you have a dream, you have a career, you're healing, but you're open. All you need is a patient person in your life, someone that to experience things with. That's what you ask for. It's like, what about blank? Isn't that no? That's not blank. You know what blank is. Blank is doesn't show up for the birthday party, and have people like can't even start the party thinking that they're coming, and don't and come at when everybody's leaving and trying to snuggle up, you know, on the same day. It's like, and like don't call, but only shows up at the middle of the night. You know, is not a sharer, does not share, always thinks is paying more, giving more than you are, and hasn't actually given anything. You know, only physically themselves. They've only given this. It's given freely because they have not, still not, stopped talking with somebody who they used to know. So yeah. Blank is not what you petitioned to the universe, who you wanted to enter to your life. Then you say, well, I don't want anybody else because I haven't met anyone else. I've never met anyone else who, yes, because how do you know? Because you haven't met them. But when you meet your twin flame, I keep saying this over and over, and always without fail, they're like, who in the world is blank? Like, could you can like be more specific, be more detailed? Who's blank? They don't even know who blank is when they meet their twin flame. And I say, see, now that you met them, now you understand. The way I explain that phenomena, okay, if universe going to send you somebody or something to replace that thing, it has to be equal and greater. It cannot be equal and less than. Because if it's equal and less than, you won't want it. You won't want that person. If it's equal and greater to the greater, equal as in this person actually does the minimal things that the other one doesn't do, that says they're gonna do. That's the minimal. And then greater is this: you do things like things you've never done before ever with any lover. And she is like wanting to do something brand new, like go to a place to sit and eat, that either one of you've never been before. You know, it's like, oh, I never done this with anyone. Like, wow, this person asked if uh, want to go to the Disney resort. So I've never been. I've never even been to Disneyland. Been out of the county that and being asked, like it was like no big deal. It's like, yeah, you think you want to go? You feel right about going? I'm like, go, 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 like rooting them on because I'm like, you're gonna go and have the wildest fun in your life, and you're gonna be like, blank who, blank what, and that's what happens. They come back, and it's beautiful to hear. I had such a phenomenal time. No man, no, my ex has never done this for me before, and she was like amazing, and she didn't mind. The other one didn't like me to touch her, but she's like she liked when he hugs her. So it's all of this. Yeah. Anyways, that's what I'm saying. So people say, University, I don't want it. By the way, before you get started, tell me who's coming. I don't want to know anybody about anybody else. I was like, that's fair enough. Thank you. That means you're not ready to move on. And so I will not touch that topic. Before I start, you think coming across that strong, I'm like, but before I begin, can I ask you a question? Will you be okay if I tell you exactly what I see? If universe says it's great, it's great, it's good, I'll give that information to you. But what if the universe says opposite things that you may not necessarily even agree with or feel comfortable with hearing because it's not quite good as expected? Will you be okay with those answers before I even start? It's like, yeah, you can tell me the truth. You don't have to sugarcoat it. I read it. Sometimes they're like, I know. Sometimes they know, like everything you're saying, I know already. So does that make that worth any? Like, does that count for anything? The fact that I know what I'm signing up for. Like, I think sometimes people think that some scumbag is on the throne of the universe. It is like, I don't mind being treated like I'm a hot mess. You know, look, I told you that I know I'm being treated like a hot mess. Doesn't that count for to make our love real? I'm like, well, you love that person, and as good as you do, you have all the energy to love that person. You've learned to love one thing to your credit. The other person has not learned that and does not learn to love you back correctly. Even if even if you do wind up with this person, you're here to talk about whether or not this person can change or not. Loving the person clearly is not a problem, not an issue. And even the other person may not even be issue loving them back. They just not loving them the way they want to be loved correctly, as you say. But they are unwilling to get to discover how to love the person correctly. The whole point of getting to know the other person. So I say, well, eventually, maybe not today, but eventually you will, and maybe not anytime soon, but you will connect with somebody and you're going to be like, feel like a virgin because everything that you do with this person, you've never done with a man before or done with a woman before. It's like it's for the very first time. And you'll be like, that's your first love right there. You'll be like, in my 60s, I've met a few people like they said I never felt love. I felt it now. I felt it. They found it in their 60s. So I'm. It doesn't drive me crazy when people say this person should already know what they want. They're 40. I've met people in their 60s and 70s who hadn't ever felt the twin flame vibration that people talk about in the magazines. So I'm definitely not shocked if somebody who's in their 40s who hasn't figured it out yet. And then you have those it's like, you know, well, this person, the way that the reading describes them, not like maybe open from, to maybe committing to a commitment. It's like, well, they have a great job, and it's like, okay, it's great, you're, but you're marrying for more than you're calling in today to speak more than their successes, because you don't need to like call and tell me their successes. The thing is, how are you treated? So yeah, sometimes I have to go there because I'm like trying to get their attention. I want them to focus because it's life to me. And then I know it sounds they say cheeky, and they say cheeky over there in Europe, and you all say, "Who do you think you're talking to?" Smart. Well, the thing is this is a person's real life, and I want them to look at whatever it is that is causing them to look past that fact. And because yeah, smooth words keep them in that circle. They spiral out. Okay, I don't think about whether or not, okay, well, they're going to suffer. But you might say, well, why do you care? Okay, you're going to suffer, you're going to break with the person. It's just all these things predict going to happen. It's just not going to work. You might as well just do it now and be healthy. Well, there's that. Okay, there's that reasoning. But the most important reasoning is that the person can just simply call me back and say, why hadn't it worked? You said this, you said that. Because since I'm not a psychic fraud, I don't disappear after I work. I don't disappear. I continue working, and I answer the calls without fear. I answer that phone on the first ring, and the first thoughts that does not come to mind is, oh gosh, I hope it isn't a client who said that I said something and it didn't happen, or I like whoever was meant, to be theirs, they didn't get it, and so they're asking, well, why didn't they get things? Whether they didn't get the position, why didn't she didn't, call him back, why, I never have to worry about that, and I do believe that's because I'm forthcoming. I'm definitely an open book. Like if you ask, like I'm explaining it thoroughly. I'm like, here, know this. Okay, now think about it. And then I always say, okay, if this person is playing a game, you have now all the cards to play the best game. So that's how I treat it. There's like, well, I'm gonna try anyway. So how do you like? What say you now? I said, well, what say you now? I'm no longer worried. Like anyone in my personal life, you're part of my journey now, and I'm gonna look after you like I would any woman. I would say this, or daughter, wife, whatever, mother, etc. I would say you now have all the cards. You have the wisdom, the knowledge, all the information that I have today. You now the possessor, the holder of that information. You can play that game just as well as he can if this person playing any type of game. They're not gonna be able to get over you because you're gonna spot it. You're gonna remember this reading, and then you're gonna make a conscious decision. But if you decide to stay and play, that is on your choice. Like you would have thought about it. That's your conscious effort, yours alone to make. And so I'm like, I think you can handle it. That's the way that I work with those types of readings because not everybody, so readily moves on or even does for a while. Even though, yes, the readings play out and this is real life, people can engage and counter. But just because, like, some people will kind of like, I'm going to say it, they kind of mock, uh, like, I broke up with the ex that want to come back and they call back and say, she slept with they were, or she'll say, well, they were intimate, and then when he goes up the door, or when she hang up the phone because he just texts her and she doesn't text back, or he now is gone again, or he's back posting photos up with other people, women around, so, or he ends up leaving town, like he's like, I'm moving. He never said he was moving whatsoever. It's like then that happens, and sometimes people like try to catch the storyline, and they're like, call me back and say, what happened? I'm like, first of all, it wasn't even meant for you. It was not even ordained. It not even a Christian, not even biblically, not even the Bible ways. Or was not even meant to have. It's not ordained. It's not holy. It's not a wish that I deemed you as like your wish is my command. I didn't manifest this. But if there was a potion, I didn't give it to him. or but I like, okay, um, I'll explain. It's like, well, this is what the universe needed you to understand and wanted you to prepare you for when this person exits your world. So this person's not coming back. I've been in a position where I just said, like, I just read, okay, well, I wouldn't even mention the fact that we had those parallel conversations, because then I start talking about, well, yeah, he's planning on, moving, this or she's moving in, they're moving in together and things like that. And it's like, well, so, but it was working. And so why not? It's not working right now. You said that this person thought of me. That's like, well, we also must remember the reading stated that this person is exiting your life. That was the reading that, you needed, you had to go through experience. You had to experience the situation. You had to go discover this on your own. And now you're discovering it in real time. It's just not easy. It's not an easy, very easy experience, is it? It's not. I understand. So that's so, like, don't forget, you two weren't supposed to get together anyway. You just in a 3D world, and because and right now anything goes, and you you went with it. So that's what can happen, is that you can describe a breakup and you can say, yeah, 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 you should break up now. But sometimes people, like, they got time, they have the time to ride it out. And I'm telling you, they ride it hard. They ride it hard. And yeah, until, like you said, it's kind of like driving without the oil, and then, like, you start going down, even though you're driving, a vehicle. It's like you're going down like an aeroplane. It's smoke, like it's all smoky, until you just have to. I mean, till you literally have to, till you're just coasting to curb yourself. And then, like, then here I am, AAA. Like, what will it be? It's like, quite not ready for that nearest exit, are we? Okay, I understand. If you need a moment. So what are we gonna do? Because we're on the clock. So anyway, so that's that. Okay, I've had a big conversation. That's a pretty in-depth conversation. So it gives you an idea of the types of readings that I provide. Like, I like the sophistication of the readings that I provide, and I will continue to do more. And I will go live again, whenever. I don't know why I'm thinking this evening. I'm not promising this evening. I'm more promising more like a Thursday for you. I'm promising more like Thursday, going live. Do I need to, do I, should I? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm definitely going to stop it here. And then, uh,